Hi, my loves. How are we doing? Sit down, okay? Now, here's the thing, and hopefully this message will give this collective some form of reassurance, okay? I uploaded a reading yesterday. It was very general, and I labeled it a blunt message. Go watch that to see if that resonates with you. Again, it's very general, but in that reading, I was kind of talking about, you know, that collective, you're very fixated on the timing when it comes to a person. You just need to slow down. Anyways, you know, lately I've been tapping into a lot of collectives where the feminines are remaining calm. There, you know, a lot of patience. Some have kind of detached. I feel like now I'm tapping into a collective. Your mind is so chaotic right now. And that's what I've been feeling all day. Every time I've been trying to meditate, it's just a roller coaster of emotions. And I think the subtle message for today's reading, and this one I'm going to go more in depth with, and which, by the way, I go long in detail for a reason, so if this doesn't resonate with you, doesn't apply to you, that's okay, I will always return. But anyways, you know, I think Source is kind of hammering down on you, saying, why are you trying your hardest to go 5 steps backwards? You have conquered through so many triggers, through so many lessons. Why are you trying to set your mind to go back to the person you were 6 months ago? A year ago, 2, 3 years ago? I feel like, again, when it comes to the person you're connected with this one, like I said, this one's a little bit different reading than yesterday's. Your mind is just very chaotic. That's the best way I can describe it. So if this is your reading, I feel like you're driving yourself crazy. And I'm seeing a lot of things. You're worried about the time. You know, yesterday was the 11/11 portal, you know, the day of, you know, make a wish, you know, talk to your spirit team on what you're wanting out of this universe or wanting out of your lifetime. But the thing is, again, kind of like yesterday's message, there's something you want something done in 24/7. You want something to plop in your lap tonight. And I understand where it's coming from. For this collective, I felt like you've been waiting a long time for something to come into your life appropriately, and you're not getting the answers on why are you waiting longer. And here's my, you know, universal truth as far as when it comes to waiting on manifestations. You know, if you're waiting on somebody, you know, as far as love, and you are trying to attract that person in your life for a long-term reasons, or anything, not just with love, with job, you know, your life path, that there's a, you know, certain house you're wanting, or a car, or something that is meant to be in your life long-term, let's be real, it's going to take a minute for your spirit team to make it work for you, meaning you have to obviously, you know, level up mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And same thing with this person, so that takes time. If this person were to come into your life tonight and still be that chaotic mess, all you guys would do is repeat the same cycles, and you guys would go into another 9-month cycle, especially if I'm talking to a twin flame pairing, okay? So I feel like with this reading, I will break down how are you specifically feeling about this person, which again, I'm getting more chaos, and then I'm going to break down how your person is doing, okay? And then we will go on from there. I feel like, again, this collective, you're not getting the answers. It's not that so much you're not getting the answers that you want. You're just not getting anything right now. And you're kind of stirring your head going, great, I want something done tonight, okay? One sec. I stopped my timer at 3, 2, 1, sign 3, 2, 1, action, time to take some action. And again, this is not a message of you are backtracking, it's don't backtrack. And this is just also, before I get going, to kind of keep something in mind when I'm about to say this part, okay? Like, sorry, when I was talking about if you're manifesting for something long-term, especially, you know, considering this reading, it's about a person, right? If you prayed, manifested, did whatever you had to do, saying, I want my person back, going a million miles an hour, right? And all of a sudden, okay, Source goes, yeah, you're right, you want your person, here's your person, here. And what's that going to teach you? A lesson. They're not giving it to you for a long term. They're there to teach you a lesson. And keep in mind, if I'm talking truly about a twin flame pair and they're coming into your life to trigger you, not every form of contact is union. So it's kind of that, be careful what you wish for. You may get contact from your person. They may pop up at your door, but it's not union. It's teach you a valuable lesson. And what does it end in the beginning? Your person probably shoots right off, and then you're kind of sitting there going, well, crap, again, okay? Truly, when unions take place, especially about a person, for one, they usually come when you kind of least expect it, when you're in full detachment, okay? And number two, as funny as it sounds, the timing is not going to be always what you think it's going to be. And that's what I kind of dwelled off into the last reading, saying you're having an expectation on timing a little bit. And I think this is a message of sources saying timing is going to be funny. They just want you to focus on you. Again, this is not a message of you're backtracking. It's don't do it. Don't go back to old past behaviors, old wounds. Don't be thinking way too deep about something you should not be going down a rabbit hole in, okay? So truly, now, we're going to get right into it. I'm going to break this reading down. And like I said, guys, for the 100th time, because everybody like gets so mad at me when something doesn't resonate with them, I go long and detailed. If this doesn't, I'm here to confirm how you're feeling, not tell you how to feel. And if this doesn't relate to your situation, that is completely okay. Alrighty, let's get going. I'm actually going to start with tarot just to kind of confirm briefly on this collective energy, again, to go more in depth, and then I'll get into how are you feeling about this specific person, okay? So let's just see, confirm what is going on with this collective right here. 3 of Wands. Yeah, that's what I was saying from the start. You've been probably waiting for a minute from this person. This has been a journey for you for sure. There's something this collective, I feel like you're being called to something right now because, okay, so see this picture of like, this is my crow deck, the bridge is right there and the crow is looking at the other side and you're, the crow's seen right there and all this crow's got to do is fly or walk across this bridge, right, to get to the other side. You're being called to go towards something right now and a lot of it is stemmed from fear. And let's be real, if you're waiting on a manifestation like I kept deviating off towards, and especially something that you are wanting back in your life for a long-term effect, again, that takes time right there. And a lot of times when your mind is in that chaos so badly, it's stemming from fear. That's where I'm saying you're afraid to walk over that bridge. You're afraid to see what's on the other side of the pew for you. Let's keep going. Oh, Queen of Cups and then the Queen of Swords. Oh my gosh. That's what I'm saying. True chaos. 2 bipolar queens right over here. My soft, sweet, vulnerable queen and then my cutthroat. They don't want you to self-sabotage. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is not a reading, like I said, about you are backtracking. They don't want you to backtrack. There's nothing wrong with either of those queens at all. Because I always say we all need to embody our Queen of Swords. She's my queen of boundaries, kind of being my assertive queen, my very dominant queen, kind of sits on her throne a little bit, knows her self-worth. But same with the Queen of Cups, but a little naive. That's the only thing about the Queen of Cups right there. You're embodying both. That's why I'm saying so chaotic. Like, one minute you want your person, you're in this belief, you're in this knowing of it, and then next minute you're like, screw it, I'm my own person right here. Relax, relax. Let's see what else I got. And then the 7 of Pentacles. I brought up in yesterday's reading that, sometimes manifestations is like baking a cake, sources, but, you're telling your spirit team, whoever you pray to, what kind of cake you want, right? You're telling them the flavor, what icing you want. Do you like your cake like moist or firm? You're being specific. What toppings do you want? You got to let source make this for you, okay? Again, like I said in yesterday's, collective, it's like you're willing to open up that oven, yank this cake out when it's not even ready. It's still raw. You got to nurture it. You got to let it grow. Let me do one more, and then I'll confirm that 3 of Wands right there. And then the Moon, because you're not seeing it, feeling it, or hearing it, you're kind of in, that's when your Queen of Swords kind of whips out your boundaries. You're kind of, in the nicest way, you get in your ivory tower a little too hard and go, well, screw it, it's not happening. That's what I'm saying. Just because you're not seeing or hearing or feeling anything doesn't mean it's not happening for you. And that's why I'm saying it's not, I don't think this collective, you're getting messages that you don't want to hear, but it's like you're not really seeing what's really going on. So now you're kind of questioning everything right now. Truly, let's confirm this 3 of Wands. What is it you're being called to focus on right now? Ace of Cups. Let me do one more. And then the 5 of Wands right there. One sec. This is a collective. You need to walk your own path. You're being called to follow what your heart truly desires as far as when it comes to this person. I think for this collective, you're being very caught up in different opinions when it comes to the journey, your own journey. Maybe you're flipping through online here on TikTok and you're seeing a video of someone saying, oh, screw your twin, screw this person, da, 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 and you're easily getting caught up into other people's opinions. You're not, in the nicest way, it's like discernment. You're taking 5 steps back on discernment. Whether, I feel like for this collective for a long period of time, especially when it comes to readings, you have discernment. Now you're kind of letting so many different opinions kind of get into your brain, when in reality, your calling's been right here. All you need to do is walk this path.